Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, for today's video, I'm actually going to be trying to go through something that I've been working on for a bit. Now, besides the series that is upcoming with Randy, there's going to be about 20 videos in that series, so prepare for it. It's going to be one for each of those top builds, and it's not going to be that long of a video. I'm expecting that most of the build videos will just be about 10 minutes, and then there'll just be the fights, which will be live on Randy's channel if I am correct. I'm not really thinking of making it into a video series, all those fights. I might publish one or two of the fights myself that I take part in, but there's three of us, so it's going to be a round robin between us. So let's talk about everything that is going to be coming up. Now, the 20-part series, I'm intending to have it split up. Some of the videos will be on my channel, some of them will be on Randy's channel, and that is the way in which I intend to have it. Now, there is a third person who's going to be with us in it, but he isn't an English speaking channel, so obviously for the sake of that reason, he obviously won't take part in the build videos like we will. So let me get into what this video is all about. And today's video is going to be about what we should be earning in ISK. Now I'm going to be going through three levels. I'm going to be going through earning as an individual, earning as a corporation, and then spending. Spending is both going to be individual and corporation. So what should an individual be earning in the game right now? Now obviously, previously I did have a count up when the game was a lot simpler. And obviously there is something really infuriating. It is a big bear on the side of NetEase. It was a big mistake from what they did in terms of reducing our ISK by such a massive percentage. They really have interfered with the game in a drastic way. They over put in the mid slots to the ships. There's too many disruptor weapons. They can reduce ranges from 40 to under 10. It's just way too much added in terms of what the enemy has, especially considering the numbers that we can't bring into those fights. So let's go on with the next thing in the game. So what should the earning be? Now previously, when I was in that early stages, I used to earn about 100 million a day. Now moving on from there, I made it up to a few billion a day. In my lucky weeks, I made about 10 billion a day. Not 10 billion, sorry, 10 billion a week. But those were once in a blue moon occasions. Most weeks I'd earn between 200 and 300 million. With the other things that I used to do, maybe about a solid billion, a billion a week. So yes, my income used to fluctuate a lot. I used to make more than 100 million a day, that is guaranteed. About 180, 190, but I used to spend like a crazy person, and that was really my downfall. So what should the average player be making right now? Well, with everything that has been taken out of the game, that is the reduction in dead spaces, the reduced spawn rate, the reduced rewards. Okay, yeah, it's just reduction upon reduction upon reduction. Did it make a change to the game? Yes, it made it more infuriating, more wasteful of time, more pointless, harder to play, less entertaining. Basically, it's a major negative update. I don't understand what the purpose behind that update was from a purely audience point of view. All the audience would see was it's now double to triple the time to take out the anomalies. Usage of ships is ridiculously expensive to take on those anomalies, so it's harder, it's more expensive. Okay, two things. They ridiculously OP, so they overpowered the enemy to ridiculous figures, so even more of a hard factor on that, so that's three. They reduced our damage outputs and so forth into the enemies as well through the time, so that's four. They reduce the reward from the activities in the form of straight up bounties, which is five. It's another negative. They reduced the drop rates from the enemies, which is seven, another major reduction. They reduced the scrapping from the things that we do pick up, that is seven, another major reduction. They made it longer in terms of waiting period for high-end activities to spawn, another negative. End game is now extremely rare. The only end game that we can generally touch into is T10 missions, which is really not that fun because of the fact that it takes so long and you have to face overwhelming numbers. So yeah, there's another one. So all of this was the negatives added to the game, and this doesn't affect our income in a small way. From billions a week, it reduced us to hundreds of millions a week. Yes, it really reduced players that heavy. Now I'm one of the few players who can still, on occasion, hit the billion mark, right? A billion a week a mark. It's not exactly where you want to be, but I've managed to reach it several times. I've managed to creep up to those regions of earning, and they aren't really all that like they used to be. You make it to a billion in a week. Yeah, you know what? You're happy. You've got a billion. It's a good play for the week. Bravo. But are you going to make that billion every week? No, you're not. You're going to go through a tough time. You're going to have the difficulty of running around trying to make the money. Where you're going to make the money, the easiest place to do it is through missions right now. And if you're going to do it through things like dead spaces and anomalies, you have to play the luck of RNG. And they're not giving you rewards from those activities that are worth it. I can do an Inquisitor on my own. That much is simple for me. And if I complete an Inquisitor solo, I'll be making somewhere in the figure of, let's say, an Inquisitor, mm, between 100 to 200 million of an Inquisitor. How much of time does it take for the Inquisitor to spawn? Well, that's a ridiculous amount of investment. To get the Inquisitors and Scouts to spawn will take an average of 6 to 12 hours. So yeah, that is ridiculous in terms of investment of time. And if I stop playing before the spawn of my activity, somebody else can come in there and force the spawn because the percentage within that sector has gone up, because so many completions has been done and the percentage is now favoring the spawn of that activity. So yes, negatives on the side of the gameplay company. They're not giving the RNG to you directly, they're making it a random chance for that sector. So poor decision making has made that income very, very low. So if you are lucky, you're going to hit one of those Inquisitors, you're going to make 120, 200,000 off the Inquisitor. But if you aren't lucky, you can make 2 million. I literally have been through Inquisitors and Scouts where ridiculously low amounts of rewards were taken out of it. I did an Inquisitor where I literally pulled out 1 million ISK worth of rewards from the Inquisitor. And that was an Inquisitor, may I say. It was worse than some of the Scouts I did, where I had 2 million as my lowest from a Scout. So yeah, they really influence that drops badly. They need to make sure that they have a minimum required market live value, because making players chase those high-end activities with such low rewards is an absolute waste of time. And they need to make sure that percentage chance drops are locked to the player. They don't need to be locked to the sector, they need to be locked to the player. If the player kills 100 ships in the day, he should get a dead space when he hits an anomaly. That should be it. A player should be able to spawn that anomaly 100% at his 100 kill. But no, they won't do that because it will make it too easy for the player. They want more money. That is obviously the reason for those updates. They want to be richer from this game. So where is our earning? Well, around 250 million is a very good earning for a player. It is more or less your average per day, and the reason for this is quite simple. If you are going to invest 6 hours a day into the game, which is quite a lot of time, you're going to have to do 2 high-end 300 million missions to do that. And you're not going to earn that mission, because if you were going to earn that mission, you'd need another 6 hours on top of those 6 hours to complete those 2 missions, which is going to take you up to 18 hours in the day. It's going to take you up to 12 hours in the day just to get there, and that is just to earn one mission is 6 hours, so two will be 18. So 18 hours to get 2 missions earned, and then 3 hours a piece to complete each mission. That's 9 hours per mission. So ridiculously high amounts of time, poor completion rewards. They just influence this game so badly. I don't even know what are the words to say about the poor nature of the game right now. I know that a lot of players think that it was necessary to bring down some of the players' high earnings because they were flying ridiculously high-end ships. They were able to lose ships left, right, and center, just replace it all the time. But that's not the case. So moving on from this aspect, what are the other negatives that came into it? Well, the price of Plex skyrocketed. So yes, Plex became very, very expensive. So in order to get Omega Duo, it's now costing you almost half a billion. The market taxes are ridiculous in this game. If you look at the market taxes as registered over here, when I start off this game, I shouldn't be paying more than 20% tax on those market taxes. So we should have started off at 20% and the reduction should have brought us down to 10. But with all the reductions possible, you aren't dropping below 17%. That is the fact of the matter. That is how little you can actually progress when it comes to tax. Now, your earning in this game should be somewhere near 250 million a day, as I'm saying. You can go on the higher end of those incomes. You can do 2 missions a day in high sec and then spend an additional hour in nullsec with your corp trying to get a dead space or an inquisitor or a scout to add another 100 million to your earning a day. That'll give you up to 350, and if you're lucky it'll give you an additional 250. So 250 plus 250 will give you half a billion a day, which is a fantastic earning. Now some players, if you have a good enough team and you'll spend all your time in high sec, you can get missions on a way more consistent basis. So a full meta team of 10 players, you might be able to complete 1 mission every hour, or you might even be able to do it faster. It's all dependent on the number in the team. Now with 10 players, you can really fly through those missions. 10 ships aren't really all that difficult for you to take out as a team. It takes on average 17 hits to destroy your battle cruiser, and 17 hits from 10 players is 2 volleys, with the maximum time of some players being in missile boats with 12 seconds. That's 24 seconds to destroy a battleship. So if you have a big enough team, it's 24 seconds to destroy a battleship. In that last wave of the Bad Hair Day, there's a total of 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 8 or 10 battleships. So if there's 10, it's 10 times 20. That's 200 shots. 200 divided by 10. 20 shots a person. 20 times 12. That's giving you the number of seconds. Okay, wait, no, divided by 5 will be easier. So 4 minutes to take out all of the battleships in that last wave. 4 minutes, all the battleships are done, and everything else. And the other waves are a little bit faster. So 4 minutes for the big ships, maybe a minute for all the small ships, if you're counting that into your entire encounter. Obviously, everybody isn't running missiles. You can run different weapons. You can run lasers. You could run more powerful ships that will give you even faster completion time. So that's wait, I'm working it out right now in my head. So about 5 minutes to the final wave, about 3 minutes to the wave previous, because it is that much reductions. 3 minutes, and then another 2 minutes for the other two waves. So 10 minutes for the second half if you have that very strong team, and to the first half will give you about, let's see, you have to break up your damage dealers so that the higher damage dealers take on the big ships and the lower damage dealers take on the small ships. Because if you're all focused on one target with those big fleets, you'll waste time, because everybody can't hit those small ships. You need to break up so that those who do low damage in under 500 DPS per second can take on the frigates, and those who do over 600 will take on the cruisers, and those who do over 1,000 will take on the battleships, because they can knock out the battleships, make their entire fight easier on the front. Those who can move a little bit faster can take out the frigates in an up close and personal battle, and then you can take on the cruisers at a little bit of a higher rate, and then you can all get together and take out the remainder of that wave, which is in the last part. But you have to separate where you're attacking. If you all attack one target, if you all attack the small targets first, you make it harder for you to progress with those fast times. Now, those are based on actual figures of damage that you can do, and the reason why they are so fast in terms of where I'm putting them is because that's what you can do as a concentrated team. Because even the ability of the regeneration doesn't come into play when you have that size teams. So moving up from that, there, the next thing that you're going to do is, as I said, 10 minutes to the first part completion. If you are 10 man fleet, that is okay. Wait, that is the second part that is going to take 10 minutes. The first part will take about 5 minutes because it's that much smaller. So 15 minutes for that complete battle completion. And if you count it times 10 players, 15 minutes, 10 players, it's going to be 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours for you all to get 300 million. If you double that up, 5 hours, 600 million. And if you go through other missions in between, it's going to be quick and easy, less than 5 minutes to take out those 30 mil missions. So 30 mil, 30 mil, 30 mil, all of those are done. You've got them. You started unlocking missions. You're selling this mission to unlock that mission. Everything is being done in separate times. You invest 2 hours to unlock missions. Everybody jumps together. You'll open out as many missions as possible. You'll fly through one region of space, unlock, buy, purchase, sell, repurchase. All of this done as fast as possible. And there's not only one mission that you can earn 3 different missions for those high rewards. So that is what you need to do. And with those, you can increase that reward earning. You can go plus 600 million. You can go plus 900 million if you invest a little bit more time. If you're all in very high-end ships, you could reduce that time even further. It could be something like 2 hours to complete all those missions. I am omitting the fact that there is travel time involved, and that is just there for you to take a small break in between. So while you're doing this 15-minute completion of those missions, if you are fast enough, if you have the right skills, you just have to invest 15 minutes. It's a lunch break thing for you. In a lunch break, you can complete 4 missions with your friends. You can walk around, you can eat in your tea breaks, all these things just to make the game easier for you. So you'll do this here, you'll do it as a unit, you'll enjoy yourselves, get back into whatever you have to do for the day. Now, moving on from this, that is what you can do on the high end for the section. What about for nullsec? Well, we're all waiting for the sovereignty modules to be added. Now, once those modules are added, dead spaces will become a thing again, and your income can increase again with that type of activity. You want the dead spaces. And NetEase knows for a fact that the only reason they influenced our spawn rates was so that the sovereignty functions and modules didn't make us super rich or make it super easy for us to get hold of those things. Because once the sovereignty modules are added, I can guarantee you people are just going to jump into those areas. They're going to purchase whatever they want, and there you go, running around in a battleship within a matter of a day or two. Because if we had our old spawn rates of around 12% spawn rate of Inquisitors, 5% for dead spaces, when we had the increase from station module, if it at least gives us 5%, that would take us up to a 10%. That would make it a 1 in 10 chance, which is way better than what we currently had. Inquisitors and Dead Spaces were not Dead Spaces, Inquisitors and Scouts were 1 in 10 and 1 in 8. And those are fantastic chances for you to get those activities. So you just have to apply some time, do as many things as you want on a base level, on a system with base and system level separated. So if it's a system level 10 and a base level 7, you just pursue the 7s, and by the time you're done with 10 of them, the next Inquisitor is there, and everything just used to keep flowing very, very freely. By the time you reach number 20, 30, you already had your dead space for the day, and it used to take us on average 5 to 10 minutes to complete these. They were that simple to get through. You could brawl, you could use high-end weapons, you could change your fits. You didn't have to worry about being tanky or worry about warping off all the time because they couldn't disrupt you. So those are the things that those are the things that we used to be able to do, and we lost all of that in terms of capability. So yes, our incomes have reduced, but with sovereignty, hopefully we'll be able to go beyond where we used to be. If we don't go beyond where we used to be, then they're literally ripping us off, and I don't see a reason to stay in the game. To be honest, if they do rip us off with sovereignty, I would actually, if I wasn't doing this YouTube channel, I would definitely quit. I would quit 100% if that drop rate on those stations don't take us above, let's say, for a fair rate for an Inquisitor of 40%. If it doesn't give us 40%, it's not worth it. They're making us build a module worth billions. That's for a single player, that's a week or two worth of play. For other players, it's ridiculous to even think about what they're going to make us invest. But with those investments and the amount of power they're going to consume and the amount of modules we're going to have to purchase and the amount of time we're going to invest, they should give us a 40% Inquisitor spawn to give us a good income. And the Scouts should be at least 60%. So you should get Scouts every second or third spawn in that sector. and above that you should get at least a 20% spawn on your dead spaces, so 1 in 5 in the sector with that module activated. If they don't improve them by that much, they're just wasting our time. They was probably going to make us get a 4%, take it back up to its old percentages. We're going to get 12 and 5% all over again, and it's just going to be them returning us to the old meta of the game by making us invest massive amounts of time and money to get there. It's going to cost us more to get our old gameplay back than it should. It should be improved gameplay, not diverted gameplay. In other words, to get to your gameplay, you now have to go and invest plasmoids, and you have to use the plasmoids to make sure that this thing stays functional. You have to build it, you have to defend it. Too much of work for too little of an investment. They need to make sure the investments are worthwhile. I hope that the devs are thinking of that. That is very important. So that is where you should be as an individual. Okay, so I'm going to do the corp earnings later, and I will do the spend with the corp earnings. So this video will be counted as a two-part. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.